The lads, welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the latest Arsenal news and transfer news as well. Mikel Merino to Arsenal is advancing, but Liverpool are looking to sabotage their deal by signing Martin Zubimendi. It's a crazy transfer hours going on at Real Sociedad. We are also going to be talking about Nketiah to replace Dominic Solanke at Bournemouth. That could give us a chance to sell him at a higher price, and then we could go for Victor Gyökeres. And then I'll talk about my worries a little bit because I'm planning on doing a whole video about our whole transfer window. But hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. We have some positives in Mikel Merino and we have some positives in Nketiah as well, and some negatives when it comes to Liverpool trying to poach Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad. Now, the latest story, as confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, both players, Martin Zubimendi and Mikel Merino, are looking to leave Real Sociedad this summer. It's quite impressive how towards the end of the window, we are talking about Martin Zubimendi leaving, Martin Zubimendi agreeing to join Liverpool, yet he's the same player that we were told he doesn't want to leave the Basque region, he doesn't want to leave Real Sociedad. So Fabrizio has said that Martin Zubimendi has been called up for Real Sociedad Real Sociedad's next game. While Liverpool are trying to convince him. Mikel Merino has not been called up as Arsenal are in talks, and those talks are still ongoing. They're advanced, but with a deal structure and payment terms still to clarify. After that, most stories came out on this story, and the first version was that Mikel Merino's absence in the squad for Real Sociedad meant that it was an imminent departure that was actually facilitating that. So they're saying that after rejecting Atletico Madrid, the midfielder's transfer to Arsenal is now closer than ever. Merino believes Arsenal are the perfect project for him. We know that, right? And then still, more reports came in and were confirming that Arsenal are now expected to close the deal for Mikel Merino in the coming days, as the player is only waiting for Arsenal right at the moment. And the price could be around 25 to 30 million euros, as we were told by Fabrizio Romano. So, first and foremost, I don't think Real Sociedad are going to be so soft to lose both players. It's not going to be that easy. I mean, losing Mikel Merino, that is understandable. He's already 28. You could replace him. They were looking about Carlos Soler. They had signed one player from Salzburg. I think it's Sucic. So replacing him was that easy. It was as easy as that. But replacing both of them, losing both of them, it's not going to be easy. And this is why Arsenal have to be concerned. We have to be concerned because if Liverpool dare sign Martin Zubimendi before we get Mikel Merino, Real Sociedad might decide to keep Mikel Merino for one more year and probably lose him on a free next summer. That is, that's possible. And also remember that the release clause of Martin Zubimendi is 60 million. So Real Sociedad stand to make more money if they sell Martin Zubimendi than they make if they sell Mikel Merino. So it's not going to be an easy one. However, I want us to talk about him being left out of the game. They're going to play tomorrow. He's not part of the squad. Now, there are two sides of the story. The first side is the side of Fabrizio Romano, who says that he's been left out of the squad as a precaution so that he doesn't pick up an injury, as a precaution so that they don't risk anything as talks are ongoing and everything is closed. So Fabrizio says, at the moment, Sociedad don't have a reason to risk the player. They don't have a reason to play him. They don't have a reason to, risk his fitness. And I kind of agree with that because we've done it with Emil Smith-Rowe, as Arsenal. When he was very close to joining Fulham, and listen, there was not even a full agreement in place, but he, right away we stopped playing him because you never know, anything could happen. If you play him in the next game, he picks up an injury, he fails his medicals, you don't get the 35 million, you don't get the 40 million euros that you got from his sale. So I think what Arsenal are doing here and what we're trying to do is we are trying to what Sociedad are doing is they're trying to make sure that the player doesn't get involved in heavy work, right? He doesn't pick up any injuries, because 30 million euros for a 28-year-old, that's a lot of money. It's very big money. Like, imagine right now if Arsenal got 30 million euros from Thomas Partey, or 30 million euros from Jorginho, or 30 million euros from any of our elder players, maybe Trossard, that would be a very, very good sell. So I would buy that part of the story because it makes more sense. Now the other story, the other part of the story is that he has been left out of the squad due to fitness problems. Does Mikel Merino really have fitness problems? I mean, it could be. They played until late in the in the competition, the Euros. They won the Euros. They didn't get any time to rest as other players. So probably he's feeling that bit of fatigue. He's feeling that bit of tiredness. But I really don't think so. I really don't think so. If Martin Zubimendi is part of the squad, unless they're saying that Mikel Merino has an injury, which they wouldn't actually say right now, unless the injury is very, very big, it would make no sense for them to come out and say, he has issues. So I think they have left him out due to, as a precaution, just to make sure that nothing happens to him. However, so the deal, that would signify that the deal is closed. And I think all of us will agree and should agree that by this time, according to the reliable Fabrizio Romano and what he's been giving us, by this time Arsenal should be closer than ever to sign Mikel Merino. There is a problem, guys, and that problem is Liverpool. So Real Sociedad are negotiating on around four fronts. They're negotiating on the Carlos Soler front. They're negotiating with Liverpool for Zubimendi. They're negotiating with Arsenal for Mikel Merino, and they're also negotiating. I think they're now done with Sukic, but they've also been negotiating for Sukic as well. So a lot has been going on. So I understand the delay and understand why things have been a little bit slow. However, the reason as to why Arsenal's deal is under threat and under jeopardy is this: imagine that these boys, Liverpool, managed to get Martin Zubimendi. Imagine that Martin Zubimendi goes to Liverpool. Him going to Liverpool, that's already another problem I have with Arsenal this summer. Like, he was among the players that were reported we wanted. How come he is strongly on the transfer radar of Liverpool and he's going to be a part of them this summer? Like, it is one of the things I would love to discuss on the podcast, but we'll talk about it. The threat with Arsenal, or the threat for Arsenal with Liverpool trying to get Zubimendi is one, Sociedad have to weigh, who do we lose, who do we keep, right? Merino doesn't want to stay. He's not going to sign a new deal, but Martin Zubimendi has a release clause. That is the problem. And his release clause is 60 million euros, which is around 55 million pounds or even less than that. And Pool have not spent a single coin this summer, those bastards. So it means they have the money. It means that Liverpool can easily get 55. Remember last summer, they were willing to get 80 million to spend on Caicedo, or even up to 100. They're willing to spend over 60 million on Romeo Lavia. So they have the bag. The bag is loaded. The Liverpool bag is loaded. And as clubs cry for FFP and cry for help, I don't think Liverpool is in that category. So what Real Sociedad are now scared of, and why this Arsenal deal for Mikel Merino might drag on a little bit longer, is you're looking at if they sell Mikel Merino today, Liverpool can trigger the release clause of Martin Zubimendi tomorrow. All of a sudden, their best two of their best three midfielders are gone. How do they replace that? So I think with Mikel Merino initially, they thought that they would sell him because they were going to keep Martin Zubimendi. And they were confident they were going to keep Martin Zubimendi. But Arne Slot is saying, I want Martin Zubimendi. He's the player I want. He's the guy that I want to put into this Liverpool machine and make it work. And should that be the case, and should Liverpool be serious and sign Zubimendi, because we know they have the funds, we know they have the resources, we face a bigger problem. So what do I think is going to happen? I think if you're a Real Sociedad fan and you have enjoyed Zubimendi and Mikel Merino playing together, I'm so sorry, you might not see any of them at your club. Now, I am 100% sure one of these two boys is going to leave La Real. I am 100% sure. And I'm also 90% sure Mikel Merino will leave La Real. But I'm also sure Zubimendi will agree personal terms with Liverpool, and I'm also sure that Zubimendi will end up at Liverpool. So it's now going to be, do La Real think and do they feel that Mikel Merino should stay because Zubi has gone? If that is their feeling, Arsenal lose out, right? Arsenal lose out. Could Martin Zubimendi reject Liverpool? If that is the feeling, Liverpool lose out, and Arsenal win. So it's going to be kind of a win-win, right? Or a win-lose situation for both clubs. Liverpool could lose and Arsenal win. Arsenal could win. Arsenal could lose and and Liverpool win. But I can see a world where Zubi and Merino live together. I can see a world where Zubimendi goes to Liverpool and Mikel Merino goes to Arsenal. However, the one thing I don't understand about this deal, especially when it comes to Arsenal, is what is holding it back? Because, initially, you would say Arsenal need to move on a player in midfield. We've done that, and the player we've moved on in midfield has gone and scored goals. So, what exactly is Edu, his team, Mikel Arteta, and his team, what exactly are they doing? Why is this deal very, very dormant? Yes, I know sales are important, but we have sold Emil Smith-Rowe. And like I said earlier on in this window, I don't think that Arsenal have no money. I don't think that we are going to depend on one in, one out. The money we get from one player buys the other. I don't think that is where we are. We might not have the hundreds of millions to spend on one player, but I know we have at least a 70 million somewhere to spend on this transfer window. So are we going to see a drastic drama, closure of arrivals, red carpet, Merino arrives, Gyökeres arrives, Sane arrives. Are we going to see, a dramatic ending to the window? Usually for Arsenal, that doesn't happen. Usually for our windows, it is very quiet. Usually for our windows, it's like someone is bewitching us. So I don't understand the Mikel Merino deal. I don't understand where is the problem. Because Fabrizio said both clubs have an agreement on the valuation, 30 million around there, maybe plus a few add-ons, but Arsenal have never sent in a bid yet. So are we broke? It's one of the worries I have this summer. Are we broke? And if we are broke, in our second year of challenging Man City, I'm sorry. It's not good enough. Now, Nketiah is one of the players that are holding back our transfers. I'm sorry to say this, but yeah, he's one of the players that are holding up our, transfers, and we have to find a move for him. So one of the solutions, of course, is Olympique Marseille. Arsenal are open to sit down, negotiate again with Olympique Marseille on Nketiah. But he could also be a replacement for Domenico Solanke. Dominic Solanke could go to Tottenham Hotspur. They want him. They need a striker. If you're Tottenham, you're bewitched. How do you see Dominic Solanke as a good striker? Honestly, it is what it is. So Nketiah could be going to Bournemouth. They want him as a replacement for Dominic Solanke. Now, for me, this one, I would keep my eyes onto the screen. Not because it might happen, but I think Bournemouth, being an English club, have a greater use for an English player, especially at a desperate moment while the Premier League is starting and they're in that rush hour to replace their most important attacker. Arsenal could be in luck here. We could be in luck. I think the question is, how much are Tottenham willing to pay for Dominic Solanke? Because Solanke himself is a 30 million striker. Honestly. Is a 30 million striker. So, I don't know. I mean, he had a good season last season. He could go up to 35 to 45. But why I think Bournemouth is a good deal for us is an English club would appreciate Eddie Nketiah better than an Italian or French club. Because for them, when they're purchasing them, they're purchasing a player from abroad. But Bournemouth are purchasing a homegrown player. So they're adding a homegrown player to their squad, and that is part of the rules. They're losing a homegrown player, and they're replacing him with a homegrown player. So Nketiah to Bournemouth, that's a good deal. That one works for Arsenal. They can even pay up to 40 million euros. Of course, they're never going to pay up to 40 million euros. After Marseille bidding up to 27, I think any club that comes in is just going to raise it a little bit to 30, 31, and they'll get him for that price. But now we have options for Eddie. We have Bournemouth. Thank you so much for coming on board. Make yourself comfortable. Feel at home. Get a drink. We have Olympique Marseille. The legends are already there. We are ready to serve you guys. If you need anything, we are at your service. So let's wait and see what comes out of there. But Eddie could be on his way out of Arsenal, and Bournemouth and Marseille now punching each other for his signing.